Okay, personal trainers from around the world. This is Doug Blake and Corey Ritter with Body Design University. Personal trainer talk. It is Wednesday, 2:00, and we are excited. We've got your questions. Sorry, we have not seen you in a couple weeks. We were in the middle of a live course for the last 2 weeks with some awesome personal trainers that came into Atlanta, Georgia from all over the place. And we had a great event. And, so we're back. We're here to answer your questions. We're back on a regular schedule. I know we've got an awesome list of questions that have been sent in. I've got them here in front of me. Mr. Blake from sunny South Florida. What's going on, Chief? You're on mute, dude. You got to take yourself off mute.
Oh, is that how that works?
And what a rookie. Yeah. What's going on, man? You said right before the call, you were saying it's like 90 degrees down there.
Oh man, I'm going to tell you, I love this weather. You know that, right?
I love it. I know.
As soon as it hits 90, man, I'm on top of my game.
You say that, but the funny thing is you also say every time you come up to Georgia during the winter and we go on a hike or something outdoors, you're like, man, this weather, it brings me back to the Poconos. And,
exactly.
I know you got a secret love for both.
I do. Man, I'm going to tell you, when it comes to just existing.
Hey, before we get started, I wanted to give a real quick loving shout out to my son. Ryder turns 5 today. Crazy.
Happy birthday, Ryder.
Happy birthday, buddy. I love you so much. And yes, it's his birthday. I can't even believe it. Time just flies.
Amazing.
But wanted to say happy birthday. And then Doug, also before the call, on your last visit, we were watching that TED Talk, which I don't know, it just seemed like you had a little reluctance to it, but we're watching this TED Talk, and this sleep expert was talking about, sleep, and basically something Doug and I have known for years about changing the temperature when you're sleeping to get in a deeper, night's sleep. And it's something that Doug has been teaching for years in, the course, and how important sleep is. But man, I'll tell you that quick talk, I don't know what it was, 15 minutes. It was really eye-opening in, just hearing it again, how important sleep is. And then we had been using the temperature of 68 degrees for sleep. And we rolled out 65 degrees, and that 3-degree difference in the sleep. Look, all we need next is the hyperbaric chamber, right?
Yeah, man. But don't be showing
giving our secrets,
hand too soon.
Don't be telling the secrets. and so
there's people out there that are like, come on now, come into the 21st century, man. We've been using hyperbaric, sleep chambers for years.
Well, don't be surprised when you come up for one of the live courses. And for those of you that don't know, Doug stays at Body Design Fit Stay when he comes up into town, and there might be like a chamber that you have to crawl into at night. At night, you're going to be like, this is absurd.
You just remember at my age, man, any type of assistance I can get.
Well, look, we need you helping teach trainers for at least another 30 years.
My concern is you didn't say anything like, what are you talking about, Doug? You just went right along with it when I said that about my...
Look, man, I don't know. Okay. All right. Are you ready to get this show on the road?
Good swivel.
Let's
yes, sir.
Look,
yes,
let's help some personal trainers. So guys, personal trainers, listen up. If you are not getting the client results that you want, okay, if your clients are not showing up to their workouts, if you are not proud, if you're not a proud trainer of your client results, you deserve to be. And so do your clients. Your clients deserve the results. Please pay attention to these talks. There's little cues and things that we share every week, Wednesday, 2:00 Eastern Standard Time, that helps trainers get better results with their clients. It's really important. You can have a thriving business, but if you don't have good results, it just doesn't last. So this talk is for you. It's also for the trainers that are just getting started or have been training for a long period of time. Veteran trainers, if you're not seeing the revenue that you need to see in order to have a substantial or significant business, this talk is for you. So just throw that out there. That's why we do these. We have something very exciting that we're going to be announcing in the next couple of weeks. That's going to help a lot of trainers around the U.S. and Canada. Of course, we'll accept and invite people from other countries, but primarily U.S. and Canada. That we're excited to talk about. So when we release that, we're going to do it here on Personal Trainer Talk, go over the details, but it's something really, really special that we're going to be doing to help personal trainers even further than what we already do at Body Design University in this Personal Trainer Talk. So with that being said, Mr. Blake, are you ready to rock and roll?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Come on, let's knock them out.
All right. So let me get us started. We've got a question from Frederick Thomas in Galveston, Texas. And I've got it, bear with me. I've got it up on the screen here. Is coffee a good pre-workout supplement? Should I suggest people drink a cup before training? Is coffee a good pre-workout supplement?
Yep. Next question. Look,
especially if it's got a little ephedra in it too.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Are we breaking all the rules with that one?
We are. Okay. So is coffee a good pre-workout for certain people? Absolutely. Of course, because it contains the pre-workout supplement of choice, or the pre-workout drug of choice, which is what? Caffeine. Yes, of course. And if I pulled up any commercial pre-workout supplements in general, just put them all in front of you and went like this, guess what the main ingredient would be within their proprietary blend? Caffeine. Yes, of course. So the issue is not so much with caffeine, because it's a very effective, powerful ergogenic substance. It really is. So on that end of it, pre-workout, sure. I mean, that's what I do. I mean, that's my pre-workout. And I use it just because it's, I love the taste of coffee, but it also affects my sympathetic nervous system and gets me ready to go. But not everybody is affected by caffeine. And this is the interesting thing about coffee, is that, Joy, my wife, she can drink coffee. Sometimes it gives her a little bit of the jitters, but it doesn't help her like you or I.
Right.
The answer is yes, for the right person at the right dose, it can be very effective. Now, that's the first question. So yes, it's dose dependent. It's obviously dependent on the person. Not everybody has the same sort of gene expression for caffeine stimulation in the sympathetic nervous system. So not everybody's affected by it. It's also dose related. So, 200 milligrams versus 100 milligrams could have a profound difference on how jacked up you feel, so to speak. And don't be taking 500 milligrams.
Hey, let me ask you this. What are some of these? I haven't looked at them in a little while. What are some of these pre-workouts? How many milligrams are they using right now? Would you say on average? On average,
anywhere from 100 all the way up to 200. Some are actually a little bit more, but remember, it's based on the serving. So serving size could be anywhere between 100 to all the way up to 200, if not more.
Mm-hmm.
Some that are not denoted as pre-workout supplements, but as just energy boosters, will use 30 to 50 milligrams, somewhere around there, which, for somebody like you or somebody like me, you're not going to feel any substantive difference in generally how you feel. However, again, the research is clear that pretty much anybody that consumes caffeine at almost any level will receive some sort of boost to their BMR, their basal metabolic rate. So there is going to be, and that's why, that 5-hour energy, little 5-hour energy, I forgot how many milligrams, it's like 30 milligrams or something.
Are they still even selling any of those?
They sell.
They're still selling them?
Because they elevate basal metabolism, even if it's just that little bit. So
yeah. Well,
but yeah, but it's the second part of the question. suggest people drink a cup before training? And the answer is, I wouldn't. I wouldn't suggest it. No, I wouldn't
definitely
tell
not.
somebody.
If you're a personal trainer, you should not be recommending coffee or any other stimulant before.
I've told you this. I told you a story of a client when I was training people up in Tallahassee, Florida, and he came in at normally 6 a.m. And this guy, well, he had an endocrine system. He had an endocrine problem. He had a hormone issue. I found out because he always came in tired, and he's like, man, the coffee's not working. I'm like, yeah, if you have a cup or two. He said, no, I drink a pot. And I said, you drink what? He says, I literally have to drink almost a pot, which would be equivalent to about 4, maybe 5, regular mugfuls of coffee.
Yeah. One Starbucks, by the way.
And that was just to get him. And I said, I'm like, wow, you may want to go to a doctor and get checked out. And he ended up having a thyroid. He had a thyroid issue. And so there again, in those cases, it's like, but look, what I've learned in that time, and look, I'm guilty of the fact that, when I first started training, we were recommending all kinds of stuff back in the day. I mean, you remember clients are doing these drinks. They're taking the tabs. I mean, so many, and they're all, caffeine. I always used them first. I would always, anything that way back when, as a competitive athlete.
Yeah.
I always did everything first. I wanted to see what it felt like. I would do it. And then
my brother turned me on to this when we got started working out and lifting a little bit heavier. He got me into this little, I forget it, I think it was called Thermogen. But it was by Therma Sports or something like that. But it was a white bottle, red and blue. And we would take a couple of those before we'd work out, and we'd be all jacked up.
We talk about the ephedrine stack, right? Aspirin tablet, 25 milligrams ephedrine hydrochloride, and and a no dose or 2 no dose, and that was before a leg workout, and that was before supplement companies even. Once the supplement companies got a hold of it, and they created their own little concoction. But of course now they add beta alanine and and glutamine, and they add other actually beneficial supplements, chemicals along with it.
But you don't recommend them to people. If you're a trainer, it doesn't even matter if they're a client.
No,
just don't recommend those to people. And the reality is that if you want to help your clients create a lifestyle, do you want to help them create a lifestyle around taking a pre-workout before they work out? Because they're not going to, this from taking a pre-workout. If you don't take the pre-workout and you go to work out, you don't feel the same, right? So throw that stuff in the trash.
So the answer is, of course, it's got the chemical, but don't suggest people.
Okay. No. Frederick, hope that was helpful. Galveston, Texas. Next up, we've got Lori McPherson from Seattle, Washington. Do my clients need to eat breakfast? Great question. Do my clients need to eat breakfast? I saw a doctor once, I'm not going to say any names, telling millions of people on TV,
like a TV doctor,
and it there's like his name might end with a Z and start with a, but yes, I mean, Doug, go ahead, run with it. Basically, should we have breakfast? She's asking. Should I recommend my clients have breakfast?
Well, look, the answer to that question is always a personal one. If you're the real, a question like this has a number of ways to go. One is, are you trying to lose body fat? And this is where as a personal trainer, we take a generalized question and we try to get a little bit more precise in what the question is really asking, or what the probable scenario is from whence this question comes. So if I have a person that needs to lose or wants to lose 40, 50, even up to like 100 pounds of body fat, and they ask me that question, do I need to eat breakfast? Or I've got a client like that, then the answer is, of course, because we know enough of the science of human physiology that tells us how metabolism corresponds, or at least follows, caloric intake. And so this is, and by the way, yes, everybody can throw their ketogenic comments and their, what's the flavor of the month, the intermittent fasting. And by the way, there's nothing wrong with any of those. It's just we're trainers. We're not just giving comments and options and just opinions. I'm simply saying that as a trainer for the past how many years, this is what we know works based on science. Now, if a client says, well, I just don't like to eat breakfast, I go, it's not really what I asked you. I'm not telling you, I'm not asking you if you want to. I'm telling you that in order to rev up your metabolism, it's a good idea to eat smaller meals throughout the day. And of course, there's 100 people out there that will come back and show me a research study, which I've read them, folks. I've already read them. Trust me. I know both sides of the equation, but I'm going to suggest it because the average client needs to learn what? Consistency. And they need to get food in their bodies, right? That's one of the reasons why they are so generally overweight and have a lot of body fat, is because their metabolism has been sort of, what we use the term, damaged in one sense, and that their predicted basal metabolic rate, which is here, their real metabolic rate is down here. And we know this from a gazillion research studies that show us that as soon as you start to increase food intake periodically throughout the day versus larger meals once or twice a day, we see metabolic rate start to trail and follow. So increase caloric intake, and we tend to see, or generally tend to see, increase in basal metabolic rate. It's not that big of a deal over 2 days. It's not that big of a deal over 2 weeks. It's a huge deal over months and years. And that's one of the reasons why, because we're interested in long-term. We're interested in the long game. So yeah, I always recommend people eat breakfast. Something, even if it's a meal shake, get something into your, but that's just part of a more strategic plan that they have throughout the day, which is multiple smaller meals throughout the day, and do that consistently.
Okay. Lori, I hope that was helpful. Yes, breakfast.
So what, I mean, I mean, heck, we try to eat a pretty good size.
Yeah. I mean, and I often will have, a shake, which is like a meal. It's a full blown meal where basically it's got, protein, oatmeal, complex carbs, fruits, vegetables. I mean, and I prefer to drink my breakfast in most cases. And that's easy for me too. It's fast. But to skip breakfast, no. And all the clients that I've ever trained, I never had clients skipping breakfast that got all the results that we have listed. I mean, we do, we would not recommend that. I mean,
unfortunately,
but I feel good. This is what we hear. One, but a doctor said, on wherever, and or two, but I don't feel good having breakfast. This is what I would hear. And, it's funny, as they started to exercise because their body, was expending more calories and they started demanding more. Oh, they were quickly became open to having some kind of breakfast and then a snack. And then I would have my clients not go from 0 to 60. So for example, if a client came in and she or he was not having breakfast for the last 10 years, I'm not going to have them have a big meal just starting off. No, I'm going to give them specific instructions and some options that they can select for that would be like a smaller size. And then I would increase it. And I think over time, when we let our body do the talking, it just falls into place. Like things just start to fall into place. Like they wake up hungry, they wake up with an appetite because their metabolism has increased through not just increasing their lean body mass, but from increasing their overall metabolic rate through their new consistent exercise. So I can imagine not recommending breakfast.
It's funny because we just had a student in the live course, right? In our live course, our 2-week live course, and she had a very specific dietary regulations that she was dealing with. And when we started to talk about the nutrition and gave her the suggestions, and she started to make these changes literally within 3 days, she was already telling us her head fog was going away. She was feeling a lot better. And that was just from one change, which was frequency of meals. And unless you have a doctor telling you, no, don't eat multiple meals, which I don't think I've ever heard, then the science is pretty clear on this. And we want to make sure we don't forget that this becomes more of a behavioral issue than just a food issue. You know, and I was just thinking about the nutrient loads that we're supposed to be getting in our bodies. How do you do that in 2 meals? How do you get all the vitamins and minerals in 2 meals? You see, this is kind of the I hate to say insanity, but it is. It's really quite bizarre that we don't see more of the smaller meal. Look, diabetes. What are they told to do? Literally a doctor who generally they're not educated that well on nutrition, not all of them, but they know smaller meals to maintain glycemic control. I mean, heck.
But look, I share the story in the live course where I literally firsthand experienced a client coming into me to get help with her fitness goals. She was 80 pounds overweight, and 80 pounds overweight. And she came in and she basically said, you know, I just want help with weight loss. And I asked her what she was doing. She said she got a meal plan from the doctor. And as I went through the meal plan that was recommended to her, she provided me a copy. I was totaling up the calories. I said, this can't be right. And I total it multiple times. And I'm like, wait, this is about 800 calories. It's literally about 800 calories. This was recommended by her physician. This was recommended by the person to help her because, you know, all the other challenges that being 80 pounds overweight brings. He gave her a meal plan that had 800 calories. So she was telling me about this, and she said, you know, and she just got in it the week before. And the doctor also recommended that she work with a trainer or get help with exercise and start exercising. So she was coming in to see me. And so then she tells me the story about how she'd been getting home from work and she had a long driveway, and she would walk when she parked. She would walk back up to the mailbox on the street to get her mail and back. And she told me that after following this meal plan, she would get home, park from work, and then walk up and walk back. And by the time she got back to the house, she was dizzy. She was dizzy. And I'm thinking to myself, look, I'm not a doctor, and I'm not like, this just doesn't add up. And I think I could possibly explain why you're getting dizzy right here. And we don't have time to get into it right now. Long story short, I ended up reaching out to the doctor's office and trying to get clarification and understanding. And make a long story short, you know, a lot of doctors are trained. The newer, younger doctors are, but back in the day, man, it was, and there's a lot of older doctors out there still. You've got doctors that are a bit older that haven't gone through real training in nutrition and metabolism and these things that, you know, they're recommending to their clients. But what doctor recommends to a client that is, you know, I think she was like 240, 50 pounds or something like that, and needing to lose about 80 pounds. What doctor recommends 800 calories?
Yeah. And the irony is when people are that overweight and that heavy, and they've been leading a lifestyle where their caloric load has actually gone down and their macronutrient profiles have changed to actually support increased insulin resistance. What ends up happening is they start to reduce their intake of actual nutrients, vitamins and minerals. And those are the sort of the secret nutrients that we don't really look at to a great extent anymore in the fitness industry. We look at macros, and everything's about macros and macros and macros. Right. But unfortunately, no, it's vitamins and minerals, because those are the essential ingredients and elements to ensure metabolism functions effectively, and all the machinery involved in anabolism, catabolism, right? Just total metabolism itself functions properly. And of course, as individuals start to sort of decrease their daily essential nutrient loads, the vitamins and minerals, what happens? Their metabolism gets damaged even further. We know now a lot of studies and meta studies are coming out and telling us that gut bacterial microbe development in obese individuals is also, I mean, dude, there's a lot that's a problem when you don't get your vitamins and minerals on that side of the house. So yeah, how are you going to do that?
So anyhow, she goes back to the doctor and says, I've got getting dizzy. And what does the doctor do? This is what she tells me. I says, okay, well, did you tell the doctor that you were getting dizzy? Yeah, I went back to the doctor, called, and he said, yeah, prescribed her some dizzy pills. This is a true story of something that I experienced firsthand. And I was just blown away. And at that point, I realized, okay. And there's enough science out there for us to understand as trainers what the caloric need of the average person is once we do basic fitness testing through, their activity level, the thermic effect of food, and their basal metabolic rate to understand how many calories does this person need, and starting there. So anyhow,
and by the way, that's not outside the scope of practice. This is one of the things that trainers have to make sure they understand, is that there's certain things outside your scope of practice. Other things are not outside your scope of practice. And this is one of those things, which is caloric need, and effective macronutrient profiling, and the understanding that there are micronutrients you must consume in your diet. You got to navigate those waters. Come to our live course when we go over all of that. That's like,
yeah. So anyhow, great question. Thank you so much for that.
Okay.
Don't skip breakfast.
What did you have for breakfast this morning?
I had a shake. I did. I had a shake. Nice. It was probably, it was a big one. It's probably, I'm going to say maybe 800 calories itself. Oatmeal, protein, a sweet potato in it. It's got spinach, ginger, lemon, you name it.
So isn't that funny? I basically ate the same thing, but I made a pancake out of it. And I put organic pumpkin in there.
Oh my God.
I put organic pumpkin, egg whites, oatmeal. I had yogurt. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I just drank it.
Man, we better move on because I'm getting hungry.
Let's do it. What's next?
Next question from Donald Wilson, and he's from Memphis, Tennessee. I was looking at credit card readers for my phone. Is there one that is of high quality? What is a credit card reader?
Credit card reader is, just a device that.
Is that the thing that I've seen people put on and then they?
Yep, you can connect it right to your phone and then swipe it.
Okay.
We don't use credit card readers or any other type of app like that from the phone with the way that we run business now. There's been times where we have used some for events that were mobile, but generally speaking, Square and some of these other ones are market leaders. You can look into that if you literally just want one that will read the credit card, process the payment through a merchant account, and deposit the money into your business bank account. But we recommend using a merchant account like Stripe connected to an operating system where you're not swiping the card, you're entering the information in, whether you do it through a payment request and the customer enters it in themselves, and then do recurring billing with all your clients. And that's a totally different type of system than a one-off payment. But specifically to your question, as far as a credit card reader, Square has been, I think a market leader for a while now. That's one that I would recommend. But if you're talking about specifically to personal training, we've never used a card reader. And this includes for mobile training, it includes for in-home training, it includes for at a gym, it includes for employee, independent contract, you name it. We use an operating system.
So when you swipe it and the credit card information, you got to have the app on the phone, correct?
Yeah, you got to have the app on the phone. And then basically what it does is it runs it through the processor, and some of these apps are the processor. And so then you tie your business bank account to that and the funds get transferred straight away. But most of these are also not personal training operating systems. So you do a transaction, for example, and you swipe it and you can get approved. And most of the banks, by the way, they have their own devices that you can use. Authorized.net, I believe, has one. Stripe, but I believe that they all have a form of that kind of reader. The problem is it's not an operating system that is tracking everything else that you need to track against that payment. Case in point, like reoccurring payment setup, the sessions that they get with the purchase that they're making, the transaction. Usually those card readers and the apps that come along with them are tracking one part of the transaction. And just always remember this in business. Like there's in financial accounting, there's two parts of transaction. So, you get the credit and you got the debit. And if you don't track them both properly, it's going to be a mess somewhere. So when I say that, I mean, and there's going to be manual entry. That's the other part. So it's not just a mess, but it's manual entry. If you're going to track that swipe properly, and I'm not saying that there's not an operating system out there that doesn't also use a credit card reader, probably is today. But most, they don't. And so when you swipe that credit card, I might charge that client, for example, $600. But for that $600, what do they get? Well, the other part of the transaction, which is, the credit of 12 sessions or whatever it might be, that has got to be tracked together at the same time. And that is a game changer for most trainers. Most trainers, again, with the mindset is that I'm small, I've only got a few clients, I'm just getting started, not a big deal. But what happens is trainers get started, they start processing on these card readers and just getting payments however they can. And they create a hornet's nest for themselves. And, 6 months later, they're trying to get all that data and all those payments accurately, manually inputted into a system so they can track and make sure that Susie gets the sessions that she paid for. And when Jim asks, how many sessions do I have left, that they can say, well, you have this. You do swiping on credit cards just to get payment. And then most trainers out there that are just getting, they're like, or even veteran, I see veteran trainers doing it. Some of them are big numbers. They're tracking the sessions on Google Sheet, on a Google Doc or Google Sheets or the Google Calendar, and they're manually having to tally up these sessions. It's no different than when Doug and I started a long time ago, and we had these little index cards and these other methods. It's that antiquated. It's digital, but it's still that antiquated. Whereas today, no, we use operating systems. We make an agreement with the client and we say, look, you're going to get charged $600 right now. And likely you're also going to get charged an upfront, some type of enrollment fee with the $600. Then every month on the same day, you're going to get charged another $600 if you decide you want to continue to train. It's a game changer. So that's one of the reasons why we don't recommend card readers. Now, we do recommend payment requests, and that's a form of security that makes it PCI compliant, where basically from an operating system, you could send out a request and the customer inputs their credit card, so you never touch their information. However, one of the reasons why we also use an operating system is because we do have an agreement on file for that payment. What do I mean by that? Well, so that customer, you're charging that $600. What if they decide to move out of town the next week? What if they decide to, I don't know. What if they lose their job? And that $600 was a discount that you gave them. They trained a few sessions. Are you going to then refund them all the sessions? How are you going to do that? How are you going to track that? What does that look like? So do you have an agreement in place before you swipe the card? We've got trainers out there that are swiping cards without agreements. Now, with an operating system, you have a upfront agreement that spells out everything as far as the relationship that you're going to do business with them. So it's not just about swiping credit cards and getting revenue. It's about running a very tight, efficient system approach business that basically says, this is your information. This is what you're going to be charged. And you agree to this. And if you cancel, you also agree that basically, I don't give a refund, or you're going to pay a fee, or whatever it is. It's all kind of spelt out. So that's generally what we recommend.
All right. I hope, Donald, that helped you. So don't use a card reader.
No. Okay. Let's see.
Next question. Okay. This is from Terry. Terry Bevins is from Orlando, Florida. Terry, how can I set up my TikTok account to drive leads? Or is that even possible? TikTok.
It is possible. And Terry, I'm just going to be straight with you. I can't speak to it with confidence. So whenever I don't have confidence or enough data, I don't speak to it. I just let you know. It's a great question. And yes, you can. And this is what I would say, test it. We've been testing TikTok for over a year now. And so it's not that we're not doing it. We're literally running ads and we do organic on TikTok, and we haven't mastered it yet. We've had a couple ads do okay, and we've had some posts go viral. Over a couple of them got over 1 million, engagement. But I haven't found it to be stable like Instagram, Facebook, or Google or YouTube. But I know that there is great opportunity there. But much like the posts themselves organically, when you do TikTok, some hit and some don't. And whereas on Instagram, if you do a post, it's usually pretty consistent. So you build a following, and then basically that following kind of, the engagement on each post is very similar. TikTok is different. You could have a huge following, do a post, and it flop. You could have a post that, that just catches wave because of the music or whatever it is. And then next thing you know, that one post goes viral. So
how long do they last? What's a TikTok? How long does the actual post? What's the
it's just like Instagram or Facebook. They're gonna remain on the wall until you pull them down. The Instagram or the ad itself, same thing, just like Instagram or Facebook. It's going to run for as long as you want it to. And you can bring it down. The video clips themselves are shorter in duration, and there's different options there. But as far as TikTok is concerned, I say continue to test. I think there's definitely opportunity there, and but nothing that we can speak to at this time.
So what's the ad cost?
Again, this is very similar where we're seeing the costs per lead much lower than, for example, some of these other platforms, but the conversion rate of them to customer, it's much lower. So the client acquisition costs on TikTok have been very high for that reason. Now I'm just speaking to personal training. I'm just speaking to personal training, and I'm speaking specifically about paid because, organic on TikTok, I would never attempt. Why? Because the user base is much lower, much younger than our demographic. However, you can, whereas on Instagram, Facebook, oh no, we would, in the past, we crushed it organically, but on TikTok, the only method that we are really putting effort in to see if we can get a consistent, stable campaign is a paid advertisement on TikTok, to where we can target our exact market, which is 20 to 40 years old. And most of the TikTokers that we know are much younger than that. Hope that I hope that helps. That there's opportunity there, and if anyone out there listening has had success, message us directly. I'd like to hear about it. Tell us what you're doing. We haven't seen it yet.
All right, cool. So Terry, there you go with your TikTok account. Next question. How should I? This is from Brandon Collier, is from Oakland, California.
Oakland.
Yeah. How should I ask my clients for referrals? Not sure exactly what to say.
Yeah, that's a great question. We use a systematic approach to our business, and also the way that we teach trainers. So there's a methodology and steps that we use when it comes to referrals. We do believe and have always believed that referrals are the lifeblood of the personal training industry. And for every personal trainer, when you service your clients really well and you get them the results, so provide them great service and results. not just results and bad service and show up late and be unprofessional, not just be professional and show up on time and no result. Those two things. If you're doing that, is when I start the conversation about referrals, and not until then. So let's assume for this question that you are, okay, and that you're delivering great service and great results. At that time, we believe that you've earned the right to ask. Okay, step 2. Step 1, okay, is earn. Step 2 is ask. And you say, well, how do I ask? I'm going to give you just a couple, maybe a couple ideas on how to ask for a referral. Generally speaking, there's 2 periods of time that are the absolute best time for all personal trainers to ask for a referral, period. It's when they sign up and when they get results or give feedback. Okay. When they sign up, they start, and whether it be 2 weeks, a month, 6 months later, and they get some incredible results on your fitness testing. Or throughout the period, they make it a point to come up to you after a workout, before a workout, on the phone, send you an email and say, I just want to thank you for, helping me. I feel so much more confident. I feel so much more energy. So if they give you feedback, those, I guess, technically 3. Okay. Let's just say technically 3. 1, they sign up. 2, the results without even needing feedback. Usually it comes with feedback. Or 3, they just give you positive feedback. So step 1, earn it. Step 2, ask. And the way that you would ask is this. Let's just say at the point of sale. Okay. Hey, Sue, and this is again, after they enroll, they have to commit. Payment is completed. They've signed the personal training agreement. They're getting ready to leave. They're getting ready to leave the gym or your studio where you're training. And before they do, you say, hey, Susie, I just want to let you know, I'm really excited to help you with your fitness goals. And we're going to work towards this. Let me ask you, is there anyone else that you think may also benefit from this type of training? Anyone else that you might know that would also want some help with their fitness goals? And that's it. That's it. That's all you ask. You don't need to say, like we did in the past at one time, let me get their name and number. Here's a coupon. Can you fill out this stuff? Or I'll invite them in for a free. Nope. That's how we recommend to do it. 9 times out of 10, they do say, they say, well, let me think about that. I'm sure that I know somebody, or they might pop out a name like right there. Yeah. Susie, she has been asking me, I think, she's been wanting to join with me. Let me talk to her about the program. And you just say, great. Thank you so much. So remember, when asking for a referral, more times than not, you're planting a seed. And just like farming, you plant the seed and you wait for what? You wait for the harvest. So in asking for referrals, you do the work. You give them what they paid for. You give them good service and good results. Then you ask and plant the seed, and then you're going to harvest. So the next way to ask, it would be after a fitness profile with the results section that I talked about. The second time to ask. So if they get results, their blood pressure is down, they're stronger, they could do more push-ups, they've lost 2 inches around their waist, the scale, they've lost weight, they've lost body fat, whatever it might be, their endurance has improved. I would use all of those methods. And if any single one of those improved and I saw the response from the customer was proud of that, I would ask right then and there. And this is how it went. Susie, I'm so proud of you that you're stronger, whatever it is. I'm so proud of you that you've lost the body fat. You set this as a goal and we're working towards it. Susie, I'm so proud of you that you're so much stronger. These workouts you've been doing and putting in this effort are paying off. And so I would acknowledge that. And then I would directly ask, Susie, do you know of anyone else, any friend, family member, coworker that may also benefit from this type of training like you're benefiting? And that's it. I wouldn't say anything else. That's all I say. So I ask, and clockwork, guys. If you're a personal trainer out there right now and you're not asking your clients on a monthly basis, you are missing the boat. If you think just by giving them great service or great results that they're just going to provide them to you, not going to happen. You got to get great service, great results, checkbox, step one. Step two, you have to ask. So the first one is at the point of sale. The second one is the results. The last one is feedback. They come up and they say something to you, how happy they are, how thankful they are, whatever the case is. Your response should be this. Well, I'm so thankful for your feedback, and I really enjoy working with you as a client. And let me ask you, I am working to increase my clients and working to build up my schedule. Is there anyone else that you may think of that could also benefit from this type of training or these type of results? Anyone else that you think would also enjoy my training the way that you have just mentioned to me, the way that you have? That's it. I don't say anything else. I don't ask for a phone number. I don't ask for a name. I just plant the seed. Those 3 steps. Now, generally speaking, some of the clients that really want to help you, they're going to go out of their way to find somebody. At one point, I kid you not, I felt like I had a sales team. Like I felt like I had a sales force that were my clients. Every month, I had a group of clients, about 10 to 15 of them, that were bringing in customers. And they were just constantly bringing in customers. A referral here, a referral there. And by the way, just so you know, there's no better business than a referral. No better business. They have less objections to sign up and pay your rates. They stay longer than all the other customers, and they are more likely to refer other customers because they've been referred. It is a no-brainer for personal trainers, and it costs nothing.
Anything.
It doesn't. So anyhow, last but not least, I'm going to tell you, and this part of the question is just that you got to reward them, and you cannot miss that. So if you get a referral, somebody does refer you a customer, like I said, that best is like not best, BEST, but you better reward them. And if you do, it's going to go so well. A reward could be a free month of personal training. The client that referred you a client, that client that referred you gets a free month. They get a baseball cap. They get a gym bag. They get a protein shake. They get a whatever. I recommend training sessions. I don't like inventory. I've done it all. That's what we recommend. But they must get a reward and a thank you. They need to get a specific thank you, not before a workout, like literally make it a point to call them, make it a point to send them an email and thank them for the referral. And you will continue to get more referrals. And then that referral that comes in, you better blow them away. You better blow them away with service. So they go back to that person that referred them in and say, man, this training program is awesome. He is great. She is great. I love the energy. This is going to just thank you. Thank you for referring me. When the referral person gets that, they refer more. And next thing you know, it could really take off. So sorry for, that was like, I almost covered one of the lessons. Like
you knocked that out of the ballpark. Wow.
I mean, that's like a lesson on referrals right there. It's just a question. So,
and I got it on video. So we're good.
Okay. What do we have next?
Man, that was pretty good. So I have 3 clients that I train in the morning twice a week. So this is from Marlene. She's from Baltimore, Maryland. She says, I have 3 clients that I train in the morning twice a week. How do I start moving them into, I guess she wants to do group training, small group training. So she's saying, how do I move them in a training situation where I can start small groups, versus one-on-one. So I guess she's doing one-on-one with, she's got a couple of clients and she wants to know how do you do that?
Yeah. Gosh, I've got so much for this, and I don't want to take up all the time here. Look, I'm just going to keep it real short. Most trainers, they try to do both, one-on-one and group when they make a transition. First off, don't do that. If you're going to make a transition to group and group only. They're 2 different avatars, 2 different products, and there's a big difference between the 2. If you're an independent operator, whether you're a studio or a trainer, you stick to one product. Okay, one. It's very difficult for trainers to successfully have 2 different business models running at the same time. So with that being said, I'm excited for you. Congratulations on moving over to small group training and joining me and the rest of personal trainers in 2022 that are killing it with small group training and have been for a very long time. You go to the clients and you say, look, I have decided to make a change to my service. I'm going to be transitioning to small group training. I know that you've enjoyed the one-on-one training, but this is what I'm going to be doing moving forward, starting next month. Give them 30 days. Okay. Starting next month. And, basically the way it'll work is that you will be able to keep this time, but I will be bringing on more clients into this session time. With that being said, the small group training is a little bit different. Okay. We prefer to do it no more than 5 people at a time, no more than 5 clients at a time, averaging 3 to 4. And your rate for these training sessions is going to go down. So instead of next month paying $800, next month you get to pay, $600, whatever the numbers is, but show them the benefit and the cost reduction. And then when they say, well, I just don't want to do that, which, trust me, I'll never forget the time that I had 2 personal training studios and I shifted them as a requirement to small group training. And the bite back that we were getting was huge. And we can talk about this forever, but half of the bite back that we got from the people that bit the most loved the small group training the most. And I could tell you story after story of a client that rebelled. I mean, she was just like, no, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. And she went as far as saying, I'll book every hour at my time and pay you. It was like $2,500 a month. So no one else could train at that time. And this is a true story. Okay. This is a top level executive in the US, based here in Georgia. And basically I said, look, just try it for me. Just try it. If you don't like it, we'll talk about it. Okay. And she became the one that, when the clients did not show up, that I ultimately ended up putting in the slot with her. When they didn't show up, she was like, where are the other customers? Where's Susie? Where's Jim? And she actually didn't even want to work out if her workout partners were. I'm telling you, it was wild. People, look, generally speaking, majority of the population are D-type personalities. They like stability, security, consistency. Okay, you flip that upside down on them, boy, they don't like that. No matter what, even if it's better for them, even if it's good for them, they don't like that. So this change was better for her. She didn't like it at first, but she did, and she ended up loving it. With that being said, I'll never forget that time because I doubled, even more than doubled my revenue. I saw client results increase with small group training. I saw client experience increase with small group personal training. I saw energy increase. I saw my desire and experience as a personal trainer increase. I saw my income double, more than double. It was a no-brainer. And I saw the fee for the client go down. So the clients that could not afford my training at that time, which was up over $800 a month, now they could. But instead of getting, $100 a session, $100 an hour, I'm getting, $250. Would you rather get $250 an hour, 5 clients paying $50 or 1 client paying $100? You could do the math, and it was a better experience. So we never look back. Now, as Doug and I teach, like one-on-one will always be a thing. It's a great service. There's great opportunity in one-on-one training. It's still a huge part of our industry, but so many have transitioned or even started. They just have started as small group trainers because of the results and the benefit to the customer and to the trainer. So we help trainers all over learn that system. So hope that answers the question.
Yeah. Good for you, Marlene, for switching over. A lot of trainers are fearful that they're dealing with more clients, and one-on-one's actually easier. And the answer to that is, well, yes and no. One is that no, at the end of the day, after you've been training one-on-one and you go to small groups, it's significantly easier for the trainer. There may be some logistical, but way, way easier on the old noggin, as they say.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh man, instead of taking 100% of your energy, they're taking about 25% of yours and a little percentage from each of the other members. It just.
Are you sweating?
It was awesome.
Are you
dude, you get me all fired up with these questions, man.
Wow.
You ask me these questions that are so dear to my soul, my absolute being of the personal training industry.
We got time for one more. You got one more there?
Okay. Business or science?
Science.
Okay. Let's see here. Okay. So next question I am going to throw at Mr. Blake is there anything wrong with drinking a protein shake before a workout? From Gerald Hunt in Miami, Florida. Gerald, thank you so much for that question. This is a great question. So many clients have asked this. So many trainers have also asked this. And Doug has got the answer to your question.
I have no idea.
Okay.
What is... Of course, it's okay. The question, of course, is how much are you drinking and how soon are you drinking it before a workout? Of course, the recommendation is generally to drink a protein shake after your workout. However, if you haven't eaten anything in 3 hours, train with me. Oh no, you go get something in your stomach. And by the way, if it's a whey protein shake, remember, I guess we should say, well, what type of protein? But in general, if it's a whey protein shake, that's the beauty of whey protein, is that it is so easy, generally easy on the digestive system. It's a very quickly digested protein if that's the only thing you're consuming. So if I literally take a protein powder, put in a shake it up real quick, boom, it's in. The digestive process for whey protein is, relatively speaking, very fast. There's generally not going to be any cramping or distress. I don't normally recommend that because we're always going to tell folks to drink their protein shakes after their workout, in particular to assist with recovery. But no, there's nothing necessarily wrong unless it causes distress, intestinal stomach distress. When you do that literally prior to the workout, it also depends on the amount. Don't be consuming 75 grams of a protein shake. That's a little bit stressful then on the digestive process in the stomach, just in general. But 15 grams, 20 grams of a high quality, meaning a whey protein isolate or hydrolysate type of protein that are digested quickly. Actually, there could be some benefit. I've read studies, multiple studies on the benefits of consuming or getting branched chain amino acids and glutamine in particular in prior to, and depending on the length of your workout, even small dosages during the workout. I'm not saying I'm going to recommend that to the average client. This is generally for athletes, but no, it's nothing.
Someone like myself. Is that what you're?
Yeah, it's exactly
suggesting.
Let's go with that. Absolutely.
Okay. So great question. We get that all the time, and keep in mind too, as Doug said, nothing wrong with taking in a protein shake. Could be really beneficial. We do generally use a standard of don't consume anything about an hour before the workout. And everyone's a little bit different, but whenever clients ask, they ask, when should I eat? When should I eat? When should I not eat? The general rule is what we found over the years. And again, it's different for everyone. Just ask Doug. I like to eat right before a workout, and other people can't have anything in their stomach like Doug. But generally speaking, perfect scenario might be a complex meal an hour before the workout. But a protein shake is I think a great option if you haven't had anything to eat, to get something in you. And I will tell you, if you're a hard gainer like me, not only would it be a good idea before the workout, it's a great idea. Listen, during the workout. Oh, after the workout. Oh, so
do people know that you actually have an IV when you go to sleep?
Oh yeah. Doug, he didn't even know what to do with himself. I think last year I lost a bunch of weight. It was like I was on a thin out diet, and I started putting some of my size back finally. And he was like, the other day, he was like, No, you do not.
Wait
Wait,
a minute.
I had to literally show him, the lean mass that is built up. But anyhow, great question.
Yeah, very good question.
If you are a hard gainer, take it in. That's even better. But a great snack option in the gym in our cooler. We keep these little sports drinks. In case a client walks in and they haven't had anything, we don't want them passing out on the floor. So we give them a little boost. But guys, we have come to the time where we must say goodbye. And as we say in the live course, you don't have to go home.
But you can't stay here.
But you can't stay here. Thank you so much for tuning in. This personal trainer talk. Doug and I enjoy it every week. Next week, be there, tune in. We've got some really cool, not only questions that we're going to be answering, but some basic announcements about something that we have coming. Thank you so much for your continuous support. Have a great week. Doug, any last words?
Subscribe.
Oh, that's right. Look,
channel.
if you have a question, if you watch this, you have a question too, it's easiest for us, instead of getting the email, just comment it below. Just comment the question below and we could answer your question right here on the show. And if you share these videos to a personal trainer, we appreciate that. I don't know what they say now, like hit the bell and subscribe. And I'm going to have to show them. I'm going to have to show them what we said when YouTube first started 15 years ago in 2007. We're going to have to bring one of those. But anyhow, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We